shrinking every day.
Well, and like I said, and the thing is with the tea, because it redistributes fat, as the more you're on it, I do see that the hips are shrinking, and I do notice
Mm-hmm.
those things. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, tell yourself that every single day. Don't tell yourself that you hate the way that your figure is.
All right. I'm gonna put
Yeah,
a sticky
that's
note
the
on the mirror
secret.
from now on.
Hmm.
All right.
I know it's going to feel ridiculous and maybe a little difficult at first, but I'm telling you, it's
That
going to
though,
work.
that's great though. I mean, and would you? I mean, does that work for? Would you encourage that for everybody then?
Yeah,
A sticky
definitely.
note on the mirror, or something,
Yeah.
some kind of visual, verbal reminder that hey, this is
Hmm.
up to you.
Hey, this is what I look like in the future. Remember that.
And this is the thing, and the reason why I asked about fitness primarily is because people who are transitioning,
Hmm.
um, we're bringing the person that we've been inside out,
Hmm.
and that kind of works for we see all these images of fitness of sculptures of people chiseling away the fat,
Yeah.
bringing that person we want to be out. So the correlations between the two are extremely similar, and I don't think that a lot of people realize that.
Yeah. 100%. And it's the day that you can look at yourself in the mirror and the person that is looking back at you is somebody who you recognize now for the first time is like probably the best day of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Are there any exercises that you just absolutely think are hogwash or can't stand to do, or just no?
Um, anything like lifting weights and working out your muscles should be something, unless you're doing agility and sports performance or like bodyweight cardio, should be something that's done in like a controlled fashion. So what I really don't enjoy is when like people dance with their on a spin bike with their weights. Like that isn't functional. You
Yeah,
might hurt yourself.
right.
And if you're moving your muscles like you're just slamming the weights, like you're not really using your muscle. You're using momentum and gravity, and you're more likely to injure yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I also, I don't, I'm very particular about the way people move and posture and corrective exercises because if you work out with poor form and poor posture, you are making the problem worse. You're going to be in pain, you're probably going to injure yourself, and you're going to hate it. And then because you're injured or it's painful, you're going to stop doing it. So I really don't like when I don't like the idea of doing an exercise program when the coach or the program or the online on demand thing is not focused on correcting your form and correcting your specific muscular imbalances. That drives me nuts.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, like you're absolutely right, and form is so critical, and
Mhm.
I don't want to say doing things half cocked or half rear-ended or
Yeah,
however, but yeah, if you're not doing it to the best form, then
yeah,
yeah, muscle
it's not a.
mechanics definitely.
Mm-hmm.
What about diet? Because I mean,
Yeah,
we can work out 7 days a week, but if we're pounding sodas and beer
yeah,
and processed foods, then
yeah. You can't outrun the fork, right?
right. um,
Yeah. For
and
diet,
yeah,
uh, you know, I I like to start my clients off with just tracking what they eat.
okay,
For like the first 2 weeks that I work with them, so they're more mindful of what they're eating, but they don't have a specific plan yet because I don't know where they're at. Um, and I don't I don't like the idea of like restrictive diets because like your nutritionist told you, like if you cut it out completely and that's your favorite thing of the day, that's what you look forward to, you're going to binge or just get it's going to be harder for you to adhere to a new eating routine.
sure.
um, I try to steer away from the word diet because in my head that's like a temporary solution.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell my members like it's a meal plan, not a diet. but yeah, so 2 weeks they track their thing and I look over it. And then, I either have a meal plan if they just want like something that's easy to follow, and the meal plans are macronutrient based. So based on your weight, it's already pre-measured and pre-portioned, and you just fill in like there's color coordinated circles for each meal. So you get like a serving of protein, a serving of carb, and a serving of vegetable. And then at night you do your serving of fat. But overall, my philosophy is just like tracking your macros and teaching everybody like you need a specific amount of calories, based on your goal. It should be like your body weight times, if you're trying to lose weight, your body weight times 10 to 13 is your daily calorie goal. And then the second important thing to consider is how much protein you're eating, because protein is a huge macronutrient that we not only use to develop muscles and repair from working out, but our skin, our hair, our nails, the lubricant in our joints, everything is made of protein,
Yeah. Again, as a person who has a bariatric, had a bariatric, and it's usually high protein. I had to have like 80 grams. I'm supposed to have like 80 grams of protein a day.
Yeah.
And that's an insane amount. I mean, like that's like protein shakes out the, what?
Yeah, I do. So from my personal body, I do 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I'm 160. I do 160 grams of protein a day.
Wow.
And times 5. Technically, a gram of protein is 4 calories, but you can't really calculate if like there's fat or whatever in whatever protein product you're eating. So 5 gives you a little more wiggle room. So it's about like 800 calories out of my day. And then the rest of my day I structure with like carbs or fats or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I see. I like I said, for me, it's the protein shakes, and then
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like where I work, they provide us lunch. We aren't allowed to bring our lunches in, which really messes with us. So I find myself eating a lot of salad at work.
Yeah, which is okay.
Yeah, lunch tends to be the light meal.
Yeah.
But what about like, and you said you don't like the word diet because it is a temporary. The joke is always the word die is in there. So
yeah.
What about things like keto and paleo and all these? I don't want to call them fad diets because they work for some people.
Yeah, but they are fad diets. They come and go. But what about them? I mean, I don't knock whatever works for somebody. If that's something that you're following and it works, that's great. And if you can maintain it and have like a bad day, or you can go to a holiday without being guilty or feeling guilty or shameful for going off track, and then that gets you off track for a month, then that's awesome.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to be off track for a whole month.
Right. But I mean, it's a slippery slope. Like,
it is.
Some of my clients are just like, well, F it. Like, I had one bad day. Now everything's ruined. Very all or nothing mindset instead of just like, whatever. Like, I enjoyed myself. Tomorrow's a new day.
See, and I'm a lot like those clients.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are. You're just kind of like, well,
yes.
I doomed myself. So there you go.
Yeah. But the thing that I think it takes a while for it to click is how your habits play a role in who you are and how you look and, in reaching your goals. You're changing your habits. So you don't have to think about when you're overweight or you're not working out, you don't have to think about what you do, like the choice, drinking the soda or eating the food or not playing video games or whatever. That's just your habit. You're just exchanging your habit. So when you start to work out, you think, man, am I really going to have to do this forever? Like, this is my life now?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that's a lifestyle. It's who you become.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's you kind of like, right, I got to do this forever.
You're swapping habits. That's all.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, man, I have to do that forever. I go to the gym forever.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I then I revert to the person I was. And yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I have one more question, and then because you kind of answered the personal journey question. We asked that one, but you kind of filled it in with the whole long story on your fitness.
Yeah.
So I lost oh my God, I lost the question. It was there and then it was gone. Cred.
That's okay.
No, it's really
but when you went through bariatric surgery, did you have to go through the psych and all of that, like therapy and that kind of thing?
I did. I had to go. I had to have like a year. We tried everything else. You know, the different diets, the different medications, and then I had to go through a psych eval. You know, their classes and everything.
Oh, good.
And like the books are still on my nightstand. Like I constantly find myself going back to it because it does work.
Yeah, it's mental.
It is. It's definitely mental, and I'm a numbers person.
Oh yeah.
So I like counting the calories and I like counting the numbers, and
yes,
I just, again, it's that all powerful can that is my bane. Because
what trips you up?
I spoke to a psychologist months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I agreed that it was definitely a self-destructive behavior. Like initially it was, there's a guy inside, but I project as a woman. Well, I don't like the woman. Let's destroy the woman. And he agreed that psychology made sense, but now it's not. And so now I find myself fighting against but I equate it to almost like any other addiction. It's something you crave. And so therefore it's something you want. And I haven't found a suitable replacement for that addiction.
I drink seltzer water. That might help you.
I don't like the bubbles outside of soda. I know that sounds ridiculous because I only like it in soda, but I can't do carbonated water. I can't do. And the thing is, with the gastric sleeve, I'm really not supposed to because it's carbonation anyway. Yeah, which makes me want to eat more because the stomach is larger. So without the carbonation, the stomach shrinks to its normal size. I go back to eating. You know, and this is a ridiculous thing. Like I only eat 1,200 calories a day, and that's maxed out. You know, that's if I'm binging on a day. A normal day is way below that, and it's not healthy for a person who hasn't had the sleeve because that's just not sustainable.
No, not at all. Well, do you journal?
I use my Fitness Pal.
No, I mean, like, do you write in a journal?
Oh no, I used to as a kid, but as far as like writing, no, I haven't.
Okay. Something that's helping my clients when they find themselves having difficulty just sticking to a habit, especially when it comes to eating, is I ask them to try to be aware of how they feel before they go to whatever their old habit was. And then if they do continue with that habit, I have them track how they felt after. Sometimes it's covering up a feeling, a void, being bored.
Oh, yeah.
And if you write it down, you can look back and think about it, and you'll have more data, because you're a numbers person, you'll have more data to kind of understand and open your eyes to how you're feeling or what impulse or emotion precedes that habit.
That's fabulous. I love that idea. I have to give that a try. You're absolutely right, because going back, I can think, that can comes into play whether I'm like, if I'm really, really upset, it's a go-to over alcohol because I don't drink. It tends to lean itself towards heightened emotions. If I'm really, really angry or really, really upset, or if I've had a really crappy day at work, or and of course, when there's parties and it's summertime, and that's the go-to.
Exactly.
I remember the question, which really wasn't a question.
Okay.
All right. So this is your chance to give yourself that plug to tell 600 plus listeners all about you, what you do, and how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so I I